I'll admit this video is a bit of a last minute thing. I am actually kind of really tired from last video. Said video, of course, being where I was just hateful. I was justified, of course, in my hate. If you've seen the video, you should agree wholeheartedly with everything I said without thinking about it. Yep. But no, that video went on into like well into 2 in the morning, so I am really tired, actually. But we still are gonna do this video because I need a distraction today. Anyway, we're gonna do the video on what I said I was planning on doing for yesterday. My throat is sore, but that's a separate point. The video, of course, being... Is this thing get updated? No. The video, of course, being one on celebrations in stories. Now, what do I mean by that? I think it's obvious, right? Celebration, because like I said in the last video, but I mean, I said I wouldn't, whatever. Um, like I said in the last video, uh, we just got finished doing New Year's, right? It's the new year, that's cool. And frankly, we, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, it is, oh, it's 11. There's, something's not loading properly on my phone, but that's a, like I said, we just got finished doing New Year's, and hey, that's like a celebration. Everyone knows why we do New Year's, and I got thinking like, oh, we also just did Christmas because when it's around December time, you can't escape it. Everyone knows December is characterized by Christmas and then later by New Year's, and in the interim between, it's characterized with the taste of null. Those days taste like TV static. And I would know what TV static tastes like because I used to lick those old like tube TVs. I had one of those in family's house in Mexico. I admit it. I licked that while it was on. It buzzed weird. It's kind of cool though. It's kind of cool. It's an experience I'll recommend to everyone. Is how I'll put that. And just have been hammered down. I always have to like say it so I can remember. My teeth feel weird. Completely not the point. The point is as I sit up and have pain in my hip, for Christ's sakes. Uh, point of this video is like I was thinking about D&D because I think about D&D a lot, if you could believe it. I'm sure you can. And I was thinking of the typical like penultimate episode people do in campaigns or sessions too, because I mean, we all like, players are always players, no matter if you're live playing or whatever. And of course, I was thinking about that I can't breathe properly. Of course, I was thinking about festivals. And then that expanded towards I'm aware that it's a trope in anime, specifically like fantasy anime. And I got thinking like, why though? Like what? Okay, that was more of like a why is that a trope? I still am not really sure. I don't like I've explained in a few videos already. I don't really watch anime. It's just not my thing, I guess. But it, point is, right, I was thinking about this for a little while, and I wanted to make a video on it, and so I'm making a video on it. And we're gonna do the video. So, which one was I guess let's start with the most obvious question in your head, probably. Because I mentioned like, oh, I was thinking about this and how it's a trope. Is it cliche? Now, I don't like the word cliche at all. If you've watched some of my stuff, you'll know I don't really mind if something's a trope. I don't mind if it's a cliche. I don't like if people have done it a lot or if it's a plot point that props up a lot in pieces of media because I think that shouldn't matter. As long as you can do something, sure, things will be oversaturated, but name me as something that isn't oversaturated, and I won't give you anything because I probably don't know you. Um, no, I'm not gonna say that. Also, it wouldn't be true. Where did my phone go? Oh shit! Where did I put that thing? Cause I'm worried I'm gonna like have it fall off my bed or something. Whoops. Okay, it didn't fall. I also didn't find it, so that's why. Um, so I don't mind when things are quote unquote cliched, or if it's a trope, or if I see it. Well, I mean, I guess I would mind if I see it everywhere, but I don't mind if it props up often. Um, but I'm aware a lot of readers, and especially, there it is, and especially a lot of writers are unhappy with um, ideas of tropes or don't leave what? Uh, people, readers now, and particularly writers, from what I've seen, are unhappy with the perception, I guess I want to say, of tropes and cliches in media. People have like started to see it as like I mean, I guess it's been a while they've seen it as a bad thing, but now they see it as a mark of uninspired author. They didn't know what to do, so they just pulled a slip of paper from a bag of tropes and put it in the story. Isn't that so lame or something? And I don't think that's the way to think about it at all. But like I was saying, not the point. Um, Instead, the real question is, are festivals cliche? I think no. It's a trope, sure, but I don't think it's a cliche because there's a lot more you can do with a festival than there just being one. Sure, it doesn't need to be anything beyond just like, oh, I wanted a festival scene, bring some levity, so I put in a festival scene, bring some levity. That's fine. You're allowed to do that if you could believe it. You're the guy writing it. I, of course, am talking off of the idea that you are writing a project of your own, is how I'm going to be tackling this video, pretty much. But like, why do the characters in the long dark do this? I put on a second sock. That was weird as shit. Actually, not bad. Feels like compression socks. Um, it's cold in my room. Uh, sure, you can just put in a festival for the sake of a festival and be fine, but the way I see it, if something's cliche, it's like you know how it's gonna end, which I guess would also encompass a genre, but that's not the point. But what am I trying to say? I'm saying like there's a lot more you can do with a cliche. You can have the festival move the plot forward. You can have the festival let the plot rest for a little bit. You can have the festival be fun. You can have it be a horrible situation that occurs, a celebration, or like fear. You can do a lot with this to the point where I don't think the question you should be asking when you're thinking about of a celebration scene or festival or what have you, I don't think the question you should be having is this cliche? The question you should be having is, how can I use this? And granted, that's my opinion with every single quote trope or cliche or canned scene because, well, that's just how I feel about it. I don't think you should be worrying about, has this idea been done before? Because that's a lame way to live in general, much less a lame way to go about your writing projects. But you don't need to constantly look over your shoulder for boogeyman going, oh no, is someone gonna think I'm boring? Because someone's always gonna think that, so instead of worrying about are they going to think I'm boring because I put this in my story, instead worry about I'll make sure this scene is good. I'll make sure this arc is flows wonderfully and has no pacing issue or as little pacing issues as possible. You can never guarantee something has no pacing issues, but you can give it your damnedest, right? Instead, you should worry about making it your own. Is it cliche? Sure. Is it a bad thing? Far from it. If anything, that's a good thing, as now you can go and find similar clips and look at how they did it, and then think to yourself, do I like this? And if I like this, why do I like this? What do I want to take from this? Because shit, dog, anything you write is just going to be a mind map of all the stuff you enjoy, and that's fine. I don't think that's a problem. Nobody has a problem with that, right? Usually, anyway. If you're doing this for a TTRPG, your players sure is certain like, oh, DM, did you plagiarize? Yeah, nice. Is pretty much how that situation will be. I feel like even if you're doing a live play, but not that I would know. Where is my bottle of water as my throat is sore, like I have said at the beginning? I think I said that. Pretty sure I said that. Anyway, there we go. That's nice. So I think that covers what I want to say on the regards of, oh no, is this cliche? And I think we can move on to next topic, which is now that we've established that it's okay to use these, let's talk about when we should use these. And by the way, in the description, I don't think I mentioned, you can see like a checklist of the points I want to touch on, and some of these will like cover each other, but whatever. And you'll see what I mean. Is this new? This is new. Damn it. There we go. All right, stay there. Um, yeah, check the description if you want to see like the points I'll cover, and then follow along, I guess. So about when to use these in a story. When should you use a celebration or a festival or a party scene in your story? Well, this is going to be a little bit of genre specific and a little bit of plot specific. For example, and I'll cover it better in their own segments, and I'll explain what I mean with them more, but I'm going to cover with a little bit of like vague overhead. They're great for pace breakers. It's great for contrast, and it's a pretty good time waster. So, if for some reason you feel the disgusting need to have a certain word limit for your chapters or for your writing project, or if you want a time limit for your sessions, first of all, don't feel like that, right? Because that is kind of lame, I think. I don't know. You don't need to. Adding something for the sake of padding up the word count is only, and I mean only, something you do as a student. Simple as. So, there he is. So don't have that mindset going into writing a project. Sorry, I was detangling my hair. There was a knot. My fingers got caught in that. Genuinely, like, fucking pissed me off. Because of course it would. Oh, cool. Let's see here. Right, what was I talking about? So when should you use these in a story? Like I was saying, this is going to depend on your plot and your genre. If you just actually, I mentioned earlier, like I say this for like penultimate sessions and then tabletop stuff, and that's because like it's a nice way to build anticipation for the upcoming final fight. So let me take a sip of water and I'll elaborate. Say that you are like hyping up the final fight or the big bad evil guy of your story or game or whatever, right? A great way to do that, I feel, is to have the like I want to say traditional, but I don't know. It's like the should like the what you call it, like what am I trying to? I'm losing track of again. I found it. The traditional like big feast before battles, like you eat before the fight of our lives, right? Ugh. Ow, that really hurt. Uh, the the feast before the fight of our lives, right? And that would be a good way to like while they're eating, while they're like sip of water, while they're eating, while they're while they're sipping their own water, while they're celebrating right before the fight, they are going to talk about what's about to happen, obviously. And it's a great way to have the contrast of, hey, we're about to go probably fucking die en masse, but you know what? It'll be worth it because there's a turkey right here. And you know what? I could use a bite. Uh, so what am I really trying to say instead of dressing it up all pretty? You can use the celebration either before or even after, depending on if you want to have like a nice little fluffy resolution moment after everything's all said and done, to set the scene, establish the stakes, and then really get some last minute characterization in, baby, because that's what these sort of scenes are all really about. Characterization. We're gonna. Pathetic white man needs therapy, more at 11. But enough about me. I wish that was a joke. But enough about. No, I was about to make the same joke twice. That's stupid. Or, instead of doing, right, in and around the idea of a fight, we can even fucking open with one, right? It's nice to see a main character like start pretty relaxed and carefree, because that's a pretty traditional way of opening these sorts of stories. Because I'm picturing fantasy, because I fucking love fantasy, right? Another way to utilize these is they're pretty good for world building, you know? It's pretty good for world. Oh, let me just take another sip of water. Get a little bit of world building because obviously what they're celebrating and why is going to be pretty important, and I'll get into that in its own segment because I have a few things to say based around our actual history around celebrating and the different cultures surrounding it. Shout out to my Mexican homies, Day of the Dead, baby. Me and you, we are one, even though we're probably from different places in Mexico. Uh, and also, I wasn't born there, but uh, what they're celebrating and why, it's a great way to have a little bit of easy glimpse into the world, a little bit of easy world building. Just put it in right there. That sounded weird. Slap the world building in right there. Pretty solid, right? Another way to do it is if you want to have characterization, like I mentioned before, the party's been traveling for a little while. Now we're gonna give them some time to rest. Rest and resupply await you. Give them some time to rest and some time to celebrate, let their hair down, and talk to one another when tensions are light and airy. Or if we really want to drive home tension during this like really, I mean, I don't know about like important, it's up to you, but definitely during this very light-hearted celebration after like a big character revelation, everyone has to sit around the table and kind of look over each other's heads, not make eye contact. I I was about to say something, I don't know. I was about to bring up like interpersonal drama, and then I was like, I don't know what to do. And immediately the first thing that came to mind was like, what the fuck did you sleep with my sister? Like, I don't know if that's what you should be putting in your stories. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the. What the fuck? A bell just rung in my house. What the what? I Pavloved? That fucking stunned me. Okay. Um, but after revealing like important or dramatic character moments, we can have a place where everything's all light and happy to contrast that, to give them some time to digest the revelations and to really hammer it home like, the fuck is wrong with you? Sort of mindset, right? That's fun, I think. I think everything's fun, so I mean, I don't know. But do you see what I mean here is like, oh yeah, how do you, how do you, oh, my fucking spine. How do you use them, when to use them in the story, how to use them in the story? Well, there's some ideas. Take them if you want. So now let's talk about, uh, like I said, they're good for pace breakers. If you don't know what a pace breaker is, it's in the name. Please read the tin, then check the expiration date just in case. Shout out to my friend's house. Because when I went over, I was sick and I was like, I'm sneezing a lot. Do you guys have like Dayquil or something or like medicine? And then they gave me a bottle that is, I'm gonna check. I took a picture. It expired in 2008. That's been in their house. This was check details. I took this. Let's see, 3 line becomes. I took this a week and a half ago, on 20th of December, 2025. So that was pretty cool. Um, check the expiration dates on your medicine, people, and if it's expired, please don't take it. I know you've played Dumb Ways to Die, so don't use a clothes dryer as a hiding place. Was it a wash? Fuck, either one, actually, they're both bad. Use a clothes dryer as a hiding place. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Actual, like, peak. Anyway, you should re-download that game. But what is a pace breaker? Like I said, name's on the tin. Does what it says on the tin. You crack it open, you peel it back, you dump it out of your plot, and it breaks the pace. Why is this good? It's if you want to slow, if you think everything's moving too fast, or everything feels like it's moving too fast, and it feels like an and then plot where this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then she said, and then oh, they were roommates. Oh, they were roommates. I'm really tired. I'm sure you can tell. But if you've been feeling the plot ramp itself up and ramp itself up and ramp itself up, and you really feel like we need to sit down. Let me take a sip of water because I'm nauseous. Ugh, that's bile. And then you feel like we need to sit our white ass down and listen. Throw in a celebration scene, right? It's usually pretty good for making room for the other important things. Now, what do you need to make room for? The obvious is, of course, world building. The second obvious, and possibly more obvious, that I meant to say and then got my fucking tongue tied, is characterization of your main characters because, hey, we kind of need to know who we're following, don't we? Or at least I'd say so. Right. I think that we need to know what character we're following. Maybe that's a controversial opinion. I don't know. You tell me. My teeth hurt. Anyway, I was literally just about to fucking pass out. What was I talking about? Pace breakers, right? If you feel like you need to break up the pace and stop everything from accelerating into fucking heat death of the universe, and you feel like, oh, they're just fight scene, fight scene, fight scene, fight scene. No time to breathe, no time to establish anything. Everything's moving too fast, faster than I would like, and your players agree if you're doing tabletop, or like your beta readers agree if you should be having beta readers, or like you're looking at it and you're like, I don't know what the fuck's happening anymore. Maybe consider writing in a celebration scene and let them all talk, right? Work out their goals over a cup of fine spiced wine. I wanted to make mulled wine this winter season, but my aunt didn't buy the stuff for it, and I was not about to leave my fucking house. Uh, so I didn't end up having mulled wine. If anyone had mulled wine, tell me if it... Mulled, not MOLD. It's like a spiced wine. If anyone's had and made it over the Christmas season, let me know if it's good and if I should do it if I should do it this year, because that's this year, but just at the end of it, right? Anyway, sorry I'm yawning. I'm very tired. Technically, the inverse is also true of if you feel like your plot's too slow and then wants to speed something up, you can add a celebration, but it would be much harder to do. Of course, the easy way I could see of doing this is making the celebration a very important moment culturally, storytelling wise. Like the characters have done a lot of work to get this going, or like to bring the town or city or whatever together. Or like it's a. Okay, there's two ways I could see of doing this as to like speed up the plot. Is to remember, breaking pace doesn't just mean like digging your heels in and slowing everything down. It can mean kicking your feet up and speeding up. But there's two ways of doing this that I immediately thought of. One way is to have disaster strike the celebration festival, whatever. I keep thinking like big townwide events, but I guess it could also technically be like a house party or like a Christmas celebration, like a insured like a household thing, right? Like as they're celebrating Christmas or whatever, someone gets fucking shot, right? That obviously feels like fuck. My hair got caught again. I thought I combed it today. I'll have to come before bed. Uh, where, right, like they're celebrating everything's like happy, everyone's relaxing. Boom, someone fucking dies or someone fucking collapses from a poisoning or something to that effect. I don't know what kind of plot you're having, but or like someone reveals they slept with someone else's sister. Aren't you guys cousins? Oh shit. What? Okay, so if they okay, so the sister. Okay, yeah, so they would still be okay. Yeah, that's bad. Um, or because remember we're trying to speed up the plot here, get shit going. It could just be a scene where they like I was thinking of like noble houses coming together and like cuz that's how it would usually go, or like that's a way it would usually go, right? Is over some sort of celebration, or like they would throw a fucking banquet, meet together like that and establish business plans, establish trade relations, arranged marriages, so on and so forth. If you see what I'm trying to like point out for you, of ways to slip it seamlessly into your story to get it moving or to change things up, or I'm kicking my table by accident shit. Anyway, so that's how like they can be used as pace breakers and why you should maybe consider doing that. Here's an important thing. How long should these scenes last? Because even if you're doing it to slow things down, that doesn't mean you should spend 5 fucking chapters on this or anything like that. Ignore that I did by accident in my fan fiction. They're not my favorite chapters, but also I wasn't focused on the festival at all. They were kind of like just like fucking fighting people in the streets like morons. Huh. I guess I did it right. Or so I'll tell myself, so that way I don't feel self-conscious. But how long should these scenes last? The easy non-answer to give you is as long as the scene needs to last, which is stupid and fake and dumb, and you shouldn't listen to that because that's not a real answer, right? And I told you that ahead of time. Instead, When did I write this? What is this chapter? Oh, that's that one. Okay. I was looking at my fanfic. Instead, what are we talking about? I sidetracked myself. It's stupid and dumb and a non-answer. Right. Instead of saying something along those lines, consider this. If it doesn't have any important pivotal plot moments, it should be one half to one third the length of an important plot scene or moment. Sorry, I finished off a bottle of water. To elaborate more on that point, you don't need to have it be, say, an entire chapter if it doesn't need to be an entire chapter. It can be like 8 paragraphs long if that's all it needs to be. And again, I'm saying it needs to be as if though that's a real actual answer for you. But like I said, if there's no important plot relevance, then it doesn't need to be the length of a proper full arc. If there's no genuine risks that are going to happen to the characters, if no one's going to grow in an important way, in like significant ways, or like the course of their story is going to be changed as a result of it, you don't need to dwell on it. You can do it, pack your things, and then leave. And that's fine. And that's how you should use it, I think. But if you're using it to speed up your plot, like I said, you can do. Can I have a piece of candy before bed? Yes, you could have a piece of candy before bed. I don't know, so just made me think of that. I still have a lot of Kit Kats I need to eat, dude. Ugh. I'm kind of getting sick of them. I've been eating like fucking like 30 a day or something. I don't know. Probably less than that, but it feels like 30. I'm not even like really a chocolate guy. But like as if you're speeding up your story instead of slowing it down, this is probably when you should ironically focus on it for a lot longer periods of time, or at least things that are related to what you just did in terms of like the plot relevant feast. Say the noble houses are meeting, like I threw out there earlier. While they're meeting, we can get into what that means, both right now and potentially what it could mean in the future. I'm assuming you're doing like a fucking uh not a, like a what are the like a drama, right? Like a noble drama in that situation. So talking about house politics would be an important thing, and to talk about house politics, you gotta like linger on it for a little bit, let everything settle in. All these weird veiled half threats and like social grandstanding and weird convoluted nobility shit. If you could believe it, I'm not really a noble. My grandfather was a fucking landscaper. I know how to I know how to make several types of club. I also know how to make several types of woodland shelter and how to braid rope. I'm not a noble. I would be like a cooper or some shit. Or I guess a weaver. Because ship rigging was cordage was a huge industry. God, I fucking love like whatever. But how long should they last? Well, it depends on what you're doing, like I said. If you're slowing down, skim over. If you're speeding up, linger. It's weird how that works, isn't it? But that's generally how, plots go. If you need to establish something, take your time with it. If you're just doing it for characterization, you can still take your time, but as opposed to making a stew where it's on the stove for several hours, you're more like frying something. You're there for like 20 minutes, you're active, but like you're not letting it sit as long. I guess cooking versus baking would be a more apt comparison, but weird analogies. Anyway, weird birds, ARGs. I like the weird birds, ARGs. What are they celebrating and why? Whoops, I didn't cross that off correctly. Whoops, I'm typing incorrectly. What are they celebrating and why? Pretty important question to ask yourself, but this is your excuse to world build, because I know you new writers, you love your world building. I don't know why people have been really obsessed with world building recently. but they really have been obsessed with the idea of world building recently. What do I mean by that? I mean like world building servers are like bigger than the writing ones. Not like literally, I think. They're just like more active, I suppose. You'll know what I mean when you don't really see people asking like, "Is this a good draft?" And instead of thinking like, "Oh, is this good world building? How can I make this make sense in my world?" and other things. Is that Jeff the Killer? Is that Jeff the Killer as a reaction image? Hold on, I need to brighten my screen. White hoodie, no nose, no eye. This is Jeff the Killer as a reaction image. Huh, that's weird. 4 minutes? Uh, anyway. Is Jeff the Killer coming back? Oh, I threw my phone more than I should have. Is Jeff the Killer coming back in online circles? That's stupid. What are they celebrating and why? They're celebrating Jeff the Killer's death at the hands of Jane the Killer. Shout out to none of. I was about to shout out like one of the creepypastas. I don't give a shit about. I don't know. Eyeless Jack is cool, mostly because the author came out and was like, you know what? It kind of sucks, doesn't it? Did he say? Am I gaslighting myself? Shit. Sorry, I need to go on a tangent, sidetrack. I'm doing a side quest right now. Eyeless Jack author statement. Oh, it's been a while. Make an apology for writing Eyeless Jack 13 years ago. Hold on. What? He did this 29th of October 2024. What? I didn't even come up with the name Eyeless Jack. Huh. The kidney theft was inspired subconsciously by organ theft urban legends. When I wrote the story, I was 12. Dude, shout out. That's better than what I've done. He wanted it removed? Did it get removed? I don't know. Uh, I don't know that guy. That information is fake. As Jack's from Canada, that's fake too. No way. This is awesome. Wait, this is actually really cool. Aw, man. Kind of shame that he just like dipped permanently, it seems. I don't know. Impressive that you did that. Uh, like at all. That was a complete. I'm sorry about that. What are they celebrating and why? This is your excuse to do some world building. Keep in mind the important part with world building that I've seen people make a mistake on, and that is you don't need to explain everything. The world doesn't actually need to make sense. It just needs to look like it does. Obviously, people are gonna dig into every little fucking bit because that's just what we do when we read stories. That's just what we do when we read into like why was Eyeless Jack eating kidneys despite kidneys being a waste organ. That did upset me as a kid because I was flouting my biology knowledge even then. Or would it be physiology? No, physiology is what is placed in the human body. Biology is what they do. I was flexing my biology knowledge as a kid because I played Left 4 Dead and knew what bile was. And I know kidneys aren't related to that, but I just remembered it. So I'm eating a Kit Kat. I'm gonna pause while I finish. But that being said, on your world building, I it's gonna get like me talking about what I like, because I don't know how else to do this. I don't like when stories just have it and leave it at it's a harvest festival. Okay, which harvest? Or it's a well, that's pretty much what I just. It's like, oh, it's a harvest festival. Harvest or what? Lunar festival. Why is the moon important in their culture? You can give me 2 paragraphs and that's fine, by the way. That'll be fine. Like, what do you like? Cheese on Square Stick 1. What do you mean when you don't like when they have the Harvest Festival? Isn't that explaining everything? They had a good harvest. What are they harvesting? Is my question. Is this for a god? What season is this? Do they export that, or is this subsistence farming? Right? If it's a harvest festival, why is your main character eating like plates on plates on plates on plates on plates of meat? Because every single main character is like, I fucking love meat. Oh, a salad, gross. First of all, cowardly whores, all of you. I don't think that was the word I should have used at all, but whatever. Broccoli fucks hard. Spinach fucks hard. Salads are great. Love them. And that pisses me off whenever I see it. That's just a side note thing, though. I also eat meat, right? It's not even like I'm a vegetarian or I'm a vegan. Like, I just like salads, dude. They're good. You can even have meat in a salad if you want. Or fucking do a fruit salad, whatever. I'd like to know more about this festival because knowing more about this festival gives me an eye into the world, even if it's a little bit shallow. But like, it feels nice to be able to gaze into this thing and feel like it's a vibrant culture, right? Let's move beyond why it's happening and how do you dress up for it? Is there a traditional dress? Shout out to Day of the Dead, everyone knows the face paints, right? And the ponchos. Are there any traditions that they uphold? Is there like music that they like playing, specifically like woodwind or something, right? Or a drum circle, or a traditional sort of dance they keep alive. Fuck, did I download that image? I just thought of something I saw on r world jerking. I don't know if I'd be able to find it if I had to look for it. I remembered it because I was thinking about the maypole thing, and I was like, what the fuck even is a maypole dance? I did download it! Generic Spring Festival, generic Midsummer Festival, generic Harvest Festival, generic Midwinter Festival, and then, of course, because it's World Jerking, they have the Cat Girl Festival, whatever. But this is actually a pretty good point. Spring Festival celebrates surviving another winter, getting plants again. Common activities: dancing, fancy outfits, visiting faraway family, honoring ancestors, feasting. Midsummer, advantage of nice weather, probably tied to fertility cult because of the movie. Everyone knows, the fucking Midsummer. Never actually watched it, but I've heard it was amazing from people who I trust on media. So if they were wrong, I'll have to pass the message along through a friend because I don't actually talk to her. Common activities: offerings to the gods, singing, dancing, athletic contests, feasting. Generic harvest festival, another successful harvest, or beseeches the gods if it was a bad one. Common activities: feasting, giving gifts, good years, praying for mercy on bad years, and singing on both. Generic midwinter, keeps morale up during hardest season. Blatant Christmas knockoff. Common activities: fucking humongous bonfire, prayer, feasting if you have the food. Right? I just verbally explained the meme. Go find that on World Jerking. Give that guy an upvote. He was pretty cool. I liked the. I skipped over the character because I didn't give a shit. Because they had a good point. It's like, those are like 3 points each for the different festivals. Run with it. Go wild. Flesh out your world building, but don't go too crazy, because again, you don't really need to focus on the festival, just what the characters are doing during it. And also what kind of food they're eating. I have a weird thing about food and eating. It's not a kink, far from it. I weigh less than 100 pounds. The idea of eating makes me nauseous. I just like food as a concept. Not in practice, though. I don't. It's really bad. Pivotal or just a time waster? Up to you as the author. You can do either one. I don't think it's too wrong, depending on the context, to have this scene just be a time waster. Sometimes it's fun to get to just stay with these characters a little while longer. Sometimes that's all you want to do, is stay with these characters a little while longer. Did they update this fic? No, I just didn't go to the final chapter even though I've read it. Whoops. I should bookmark that. I'm not going to, but I should. I'm not going to because I don't know if I want that in my bookmarks. I'm a certified freak, but I don't know. It's like that's you know, it's tagged with dead dove do not eat, and believe me, it's there for a reason. Actually, did they tag it with that? Additional text to be added. Yep, it is. Okay, thank God. Not that you should need to tag it with that. It's not for you. It's not for you. But damn it. Anyway, I don't think it's too wrong to have a scene be a time waster. Because, like I said, sometimes you just want to stick around with these characters a little bit longer. Fanfiction thrives off of that, especially like the fluffy ones, which are not my thing, as I think I just proved. Um, but, sometimes it's fun to just have like a stupid drinking contest scene or like an arm wrestling scene or even just like a warm scene where they're sitting by the campfire and two love interests are just kind of sharing their warmth and thinking the same things, not that they know that. And it's all cute and cozy, and you know what? Maybe I am a sucker for that sometimes, but only if shit goes wrong. Because I like plots more than I like character. Oh, okay, do I like? Not the time. I'd prefer if it had some oomph to it, but I'll read it once or twice, and maybe if it's really well written, I'll come back for it during rereads because I like rereading things. Would the characters give a damn? Would your characters give a damn? Because I sure as shit cannot picture Shadow the Hedgehog, the Latina lover himself, sitting down for like a fucking winter feast and being happy about that. Can you? Checkmate, atheists. I guess. I don't know where I'm going with this. That I don't even know why I added that. It's pretty much just like things just like, would your characters honestly give a shit about this? And if your characters don't give a fuck about this, is the reader going to? Your characters are the reader's look into this world, they're the vessel in which you tell a story. If your characters aren't hooked, how can I, as the reader, be hooked? Hmm? Contrast. I have alluded to it, I've given some vague, like, descriptors a few times, but, like, someone just died in the family. This is not real, this is me. Oh shit, no, someone did. Fuck. I just remembered. Damn it. That's a mood killer. Fuck me dead. Let's say in your story, someone. Fuck, man. Let's say in your story, someone died in the family. And holy shit, this literally happened to me. Someone died in the family, and then you, like, in and around the time of a celebration. For us, it was New Year. Fuck, dude. I gotta go tell my grandpa I love him. Don't butt in, it's personal stuff. But say for your story, someone just died, and then a week later, they show up for like an important celebration to their culture and stuff, right? That's a pretty good use of contrast. Say after they've defeated the final, or even just like an important enemy or conquered an important like treacherous part of their journey, they're allowed to sit by a roaring heath and enjoy the company of good food and friends. Say they're about to have their lives changed in important ways, potentially permanently, right? Like they're celebrating a birthday party, and then a week later they're involved in a horrible accident that leaves them without the use of the hips down or something, right? It's a lot easier said than done to utilize contrast in this manner because it relies a lot on, is your plot ready for it? Are you, as the author, prepared to do this properly? Give it its dues, etc., etc. But I don't think I think I would be upset if I went without stating that using a festival or celebration or what have you seen is a really good way to establish certain things and then sort of shake them up for the better or for the worse for your characters, but for the better for your plot to get them moving in a certain direction or to emphasize scenes that just or are about to happen. And please do consider that when you throw in your scenes, is what happens when you're done with the scene. Are we going to let it slow gradually come back into where we were in the plot? Or are we going to tuck them into bed, let them sleep for an hour, and then break their teeth with a wrench in terms of the plot? Because sometimes it's just fine to do. Remembering that did kind of not the remembering that plot I kind of threw out did happen to me really took the wind out of my sails. Thankfully, that was the last plot point or like a checklist point that I had to talk about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So I hope this is useful to someone. I'll bid you good night. It is 12 in the morning as I record this. Have a good one, y'all. And please have these scenes be better moving forward, because I like reading them. Thank you.